Hi, my name is Dave Blanchard. I'm the CEO of the Og Mandino Group. And it's my privilege to spend a few minutes with you talking about the Keynote Masters program. And I get to do so from my favorite place on the planet, our cabin here at Bear Lake. And I've invited a couple of friends to join us. First one is Cinnamon, my favorite black bear in his new little habitat here in the family room. And I've got one more. Because sometimes when we're speaking, it's a little bit like we're wrestling with bears. How about this one? This is Grizz, big Alaskan grizzly bear. You know, we're standing on stage, and sometimes we can be overwhelmed with fear and doubt and confusion. And we're worried about how people are thinking about us and whether we're going to do a good job and will we remember what we were going to say. We've got all this dialogue going on. We're just wrestling with these bears. Truth is, they're just beautiful stuffed animals when we know how to speak. In the Keynote Masters program, we want to send you through a 2-day program called Speaking from the Heart. James Anderson, the son of famous Dave Anderson, famous Dave from Famous Dave's Barbecue, James is going to walk you through 2 days where you are going to face your bears. You're going to open up your heart, and your real and true and authentic self can come out. Thank you, Dave Anderson, for making this available to the Og Mandino Group so that we can assist those who want to learn how to speak from stage and present to get past their fears. Because once you get past them, then you're ready for Kat and Paul and I to work with you in crafting and perfecting and delivering a keynote speech to a large audience. A speech in which we will videotape and prepare a demo tape for you to use to promote you as a speaker and a presenter. I get the privilege of helping you prepare for the speech and then how to listen while you're delivering the speech for those inspired ideas, those spontaneous moments that can make all the difference while you're talking. I remember a few years ago, I was going to be speaking at Grand America. 700 or 800 people would be present. I was the opening keynote. I would set the stage for the entire convention. And I'm sitting at my desk pondering this speech. And I put into practice a technique I want to teach you. It's called mental rehearsal as applied to a keynote speech. And while I'm going through this technique, I'm there present on the stage talking to the people, and I get this impression. I get this impression there's somebody in the audience, somewhere out there, who spent all of their money getting to the event and didn't even know how they're going to pay the price to get home. And I remember while I was mentally rehearsing, pausing and asking if that person was present. On my right-hand side, a third of the way back, a woman stood up, and I asked her to come to the stage, pulled out a business card, wrote a note, said, take this back to the back of the room. They will give you my coaching program because the answers you seek are in this program. We hugged. I came to. I've got very real tears streaming down my cheeks. It's an emotional moment. I've learned to trust these impressions. 10 days later, I'm standing on stage. Impression comes. I pause and I explain to the audience what had happened 10 days earlier at my office. And then I ask, are you here? Right-hand side, third of the way back, she stands up. I invite her to the stage. I give her the coaching, hugs, lots of tears. You could have heard a pin drop. We had the privilege of serving so many people after that speech because they knew we were there to serve them. I want to show you how to prepare for and deliver that kind of a keynote. Recently, Ramon and I were in Eastern Europe speaking. I had 4 keynote speeches to deliver in Hungary, Budapest, one in Vienna and one in Prague. This is Eastern Europe. In Eastern Europe, when the Iron Curtain fell down, opportunists showed up. People who just wanted to take advantage of the void that was left from that communistic era. They did business with elbows. Brutal. When I got to Prague, I wanted to speak from my heart. I wanted to teach them principles. So at 4:30 in the morning before I spoke, I'm lying in bed practicing this technique, mental rehearsal, as applied to a keynote speech. And I find myself in a cave filled with water, scuba diving. I have a headlamp, it's the only source of light. I look down and I see this ancient city in the bottom of the cave. And I'm scuba diving around the corner, and all of a sudden I have this moment. Cortisol surge, tremendous anxiety. I became aware of the fact I didn't know how to get out of this cave. Now, I'd been in that kind of a space before. I was scuba diving with sharks and ran out of air, 80 feet down. Ooh, that's scary. I had that same feeling, and when I kind of came to, I went, wow, what was that all about? What has that got to do with speaking in Prague from the heart? I got the impression I was to tell them that dream verbatim that night as the opening comments to my keynote address. Trust the impression, right? So I stood on stage, turned to the translator and said, translate this verbatim. And I shared the story. And when I got done with the story, I could hear what I was to say next. It was very simple. Ask them if they feel like they're suffocating and they don't know how to get out. I asked the question. My sweetheart Ramona was in the back of the room. Oh my goodness. Everybody could speak English. Hands went up immediately. As soon as the translator finished speaking in Czech, hands went up. This was a room, standing room only, filled with people, all of them saying, yes, I feel like I'm suffocating and I don't know how to get out. Then the impression came to say the following. I'm here to show you how to get out. And for the next hour and a half, I taught them correct principles about connecting with people, agape love, a heightened level of awareness, the importance of using their life experiences, especially the most painful moments in their lives, to engrave them on their heart, to show up to serve people at a higher level. We shared tears. It was a tender conversation. At the end, standing ovation, but it wasn't about the standing ovation. I wasn't there so they would fall in love with me. My mission? Your mission. Lift and build. Have the people be inspired to be better people. That's why Keynote Masters, to show you how to craft, perfect, and deliver that kind of an experience to an audience. We look forward to the opportunity of serving you. Take a serious look at what we're doing. We want to help you learn how to wrestle those bears, overcome the fear and the doubt, and then show up in service in all of your magnificence. And we look forward to serving you.